Still there. Well, that's not what we're doing the video about. Hey guys, welcome back to the Addicted Motors channel. And this is gonna be a little bit of a different video where I kind of run through a 2008 Aston Martin DB9. This is exciting. I'm pretty excited about this. Mike, you've seen in a bunch of my videos on sports car workshops, finally got himself a proper sports car out of the blue. We looked around for a little bit and he ended up pulling the trigger on it, and this is the one. And right now I'm going to cut to the offloading, the first day of ownership. Should drop a few clips in on that, and then I'll do a walk around the car and take it for a spin.
You gotta get those new engine mounts.
Yeah.
I didn't say there's any cream cheese.
All right, we're going to start this up from day, I don't know, let's call it day 12 of the ownership experience for this beautiful Aston Martin DB9. You know, it's funny. This car was never a car that was really on my radar. I guess I didn't realize that these were affordable yet. I mean, when they came out, these were between $180,000 and $220,000 back in the late aughts. And you can just see, I mean, this thing is spectacular looking. I don't know everything about them, obviously. I don't really care so much about the stats and the numbers because it's an older car and it's an older semi-supercar. Obviously, it's more of a Grand Tourer. But the numbers don't mean anything to me. It's all about, you know, driving impression, feel, livability, drivability, and cool factor. And right off the bat, it's got the cool factor. It's nailed. He got it for a great price. Okay, we're talking, you know, we're talking, TLX, MDX money here, people. I mean, that's the beauty of this type of supercars these days. It's just a cool piece of machinery, and we're gonna go through the driving impressions from pretty much a normal standpoint. I just drove it from the shop to over here. That's it. I've driven in the car with him, but I've never actually really driven the car. Probably got up to 6 or 7 miles an hour. So let's hop in and check out how it feels. All right. Doors are interesting. I think I mentioned it before, but they open up on this weird angle, which makes it a little more dramatic. But again, not something I really would have thought about prior to this. So let's jump in and start it up. So foot on the brake, key in, firmly on the brake, and this should start up. All right. I think the battery, so it comes with the two keys. That is the secondary key, and this is the fancy crystal key that obviously this car is known for. And they're both interesting, but this one might have a lower battery or something. It doesn't always allow it to start too much. So I'll put it in sport mode. And there's the cluster, 48,000 miles. I'm gonna leave the windows open so you can hear. First impressions, I like the seating position. I'm 6'2", so I'm a little taller, which kind of lends me to be able to see the top of the roof line quickly, or not quickly, it's just kind of in my field of view, which is a little bit interesting. I'm used to the Porsche kind of sitting down lower, and that's where I'm gonna take most of my, I can drop the seat a little bit, most of my driving impressions. I don't think these cars are 100% comparable, but for the price point and for the driving experience, I'm gonna compare them. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but I haven't, this is my video, too bad. All right, transmission controls right here. We're going back to the old Top Gear days of the Russian UZAZ, whatever it is, with the push button actuated controllers, which is actually, I thought it would be a lot more annoying than it is. Obviously, most transmissions and selectors are not connected to any linkage these days anyway, so not something I'm really mad about. So yeah, it goes right into gear. It's, it's a little bit different, something to get used to when you're going between, when you're backing up or something and going between park, reverse. It's just something you have to get used to, but nothing that you can't figure out in 35 seconds. So, all right. We're just in my little test drive car park. But so far, steering feels very tight. Obviously, there's no slop or anything in there at all. The ride also feels much tighter than I kind of anticipated. It's not, look at that, there's a little speed bump, slight rebound in the shocks, but really nothing floaty at all. Large car, but that's fine. It doesn't feel at all loose, even with the higher mileage. Even though it's not that high, it's still more than you usually see on these cars. But for the mileage, it feels very tight. I think that's definitely the takeaway. Gotta watch the low front end. Sort of a rolling pull here. And just like that, right up to speed. I didn't kick it. I didn't do the drop down downshift. I don't know if this pedal clicks. Let me see. Oh yeah, it goes. It moves. Very different sensation of speed. I'm gonna say this: the speed feels very tight and organized. There's no rear end chatter. There's no dramatic downshift. It doesn't hurl you back in your seat, but it's very dignified speed. Brakes feel very good as well. Very even braking. But it drives very normally if you're not doing anything silly with it. So, it seems livable up to this point. Let's find some better roads and we'll check back in. So you definitely feel the car's weight, but again, the way it's sprung, it handles it very well. And yeah, everything just feels nice and tight. A little bit of wind noise from the long window seals and the doors, but it's also a 12-year-old car. Come up to the red light here. Test the brakes again. Definitely feel assisted. The other thing about this car, it's I'm not going to say it feels massive, but you can tell that people are looking at you when you drive it, for the better, for the worst. When I come to a stop sign, or if I come to a traffic light or something, I look around not only to see what other people are looking at, but to make sure there's not people either staring at the car and not paying attention, or just kind of flat out doing something dangerous that could potentially damage it. And it's definitely an odd feeling coming from the Porsche. I don't think I get that many looks as this thing does. And that's definitely something to be said. And again, I'm on some kind of crummy Richmond neighborhood roads, and the steering is still very, very tight. That's a pet peeve of mine. I mean, two things that no bends in the wheels, perfect vibration, perfect bouncing at all speeds, and then any type of bushing related or rack related vibration in the front end really bother me, especially on higher end cars. And it's usually one of the things you have to sort out that other owners don't really notice. I like to drive a little quicker than most people, so it always kind of peeves me when you get a car for the first time and have to spend thousands of dollars doing wheels and tires and just kind of getting things sorted, especially on performance cars. But this one feels really good. Like I said, no major vibrations. Steering is very communicative. Very tight and very planted. I like a heavy steering. The steering in the Porsche feels very tight and mechanical, but I don't know if it's the motor being in the front on this car, or just the fact that it was well taken care of. It feels very very responsive and quick. I like it. Ooh, look at these two. There's your two-car solution right there. All right, here's a couple twisties. But like I said, very, very communicative steering. Lots of grip. Car feels incredibly planted. I'm obviously not doing anything out of respect for the owner. It's not my car. But just getting a general feel for it. Again, this is the first time I've actually really driven it, and it's always interesting to kind of feel what what the deal is on a totally new plan. And of course, my test row, they've got totally ripped up for construction. But this is a nice turn. You can kind of definitely feel the grip here again. Oh yeah. Out there, but pickup's good. You know, it's what it feels like is what a Mercedes should or thinks it feels like. You know, Mercedes is always kind of lacking to me in the handling, and they just don't in directness. And this definitely to me fits the bill between, you know, Porsche and Mercedes as far as your responsiveness and drive feel. You know, it has that big V12 power, but again, it's got the quick steering and the kind of the tighter suspension, which, you know, a little rattly on the inside, but nothing terrible. On-ramp action. You know, the other thing you realize is you can keep pushing your foot farther on the pedal. Just when you think that's all it's got, there's more. And, you know, feeling that naturally aspirated horsepower, just like the 911, is very rewarding. Obviously, different types of sounds. I don't have the windows down anymore. It's pretty hot today. But it feels proper. You know, it definitely, as advertised. Is it the most special driving experience? You know, I can't make that call right now. Just kind of derping around on populated city roads. This is not where this car shines, but even kind of sitting in traffic and whatnot, it does do a pretty good job of that. You know, this is a road trip car. This is a GT car. You know, if any other, you know, reviewer or person that has any kind of commentary on it would say, you know, that's what these cars were made for. Absolutely eating up miles in a sporty fashion. You know, getting to your destination and potentially having a little bit of fun in the meantime. And you know, it perfectly fits that bill for the money. And it stands out. You see a lot of V8 Vantages and coupe and cabs, but not many DB9 coupes, and especially the second gen and the slightly facelifted sport models like this one. I don't really like the early models. They look a little bit bland, a little bit jaggish. But with this one, with this paint and this color and this configuration, man, it really speaks to me. Let's see, let's pull out here. Yeah, so I mean that's really it as far as first initial driving impressions. Things I'll probably do with this car. Obviously it's not mine, but you know, I do know the owner very well, so I think we'll be doing some comparisons between this and the 911. Like I said, some people might not seem that they're too similar to dissimilar, but as far as a fun toy and for the purposes that we use these cars for, they are very comparable when, you know, talking shit to each other as far as automotive purchases are concerned. So in that sense, it's pretty damn relevant. You know, I don't know if we'll be able to put these cars head to head in a performance test, but we can definitely try to talk about it to make everyone feel like we are. So that's probably gonna end up happening one of these days. But yeah, that's the DB9. Hopefully we'll bring you guys some more on it. I enjoyed the car. There's not a lot of content on this model year, so I figured I'd just put something out there if anyone else was interested in you know, knowing a little bit more about it. If you got any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Obviously not the normal type of car I have on the channel, but definitely pretty neat, and I hope you're as interested in it as I was. So that's all I got. See you in the next video.